Hello everybody, it's me, the slimy brain boy, and Pete Buttigieg is, in my opinion, a big ol' fraud. He presents himself as a hip, cool, progressive, but still a sensible, down-to-earth candidate, while in actuality he is none of those things. Especially not cool. There's nothing cool about this milk carton of a man. Look at what happens when he tries to appeal to the youths.
He's out for vengeance and he can't be stopped, that's why they call him the Maniac Cop.
You have the right to remain silent.
My bones are exiting my body. I can't handle this. Pete, you're only 3 years older than me. What the fuck, dude? All you had to do is such an easy layup is just wait for Trump to tweet something, then reply, okay, boomer. How hard is that? He certainly has a glossy, progressive exterior. He believes lots of cool shit, apparently, like decriminalizing all drug possession, restoring voting rights to ex-cons, and abolishing the Electoral College. And he's the first openly gay Democratic candidate, I think. I don't know, I didn't look it up. Anyway, that sounds pretty good, right? And there's plenty of lefto stuff too, like he wants to raise the minimum wage, and he wants to end right-to-work laws and increase collective bargaining rights. All that sounds great. But then, you dig a little deeper and you see someone who's deeply committed to appealing to progressives without actually, you know, progressing. Like, sure, he wants to restore voting rights to ex-cons, but the only reason he specified that was to make clear that he did not want to extend voting rights to current prisoners. When Bernie said prisoners should be able to vote because fucking of course they should be, Pete disagreed.
Senator Sanders earlier this evening said he's in favor of felons being able to vote even while serving their prison terms. He was asked specifically about people like the Boston Marathon bomber, people convicted of sexual assault, rape and other things, pedophiles. He said the right to vote is inherent to our democracy, yes, even for terrible people. Senator Kamala Harris just said we should have that conversation. She didn't really answer one way or another. What do you think? Should people convicted of sexual assault, of the Boston Marathon bomber, should they be able to vote?
While incarcerated?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
And that kind of puts his drug policy in perspective, doesn't it? Here's a man who says, hey, people are being put in jail for bad reasons. And then he says, well, the people in jail shouldn't be allowed to vote. Weird cross-section of beliefs there, Pete. Need I point out to you, Pete, the racial disparity in conviction rates? Nope, because you bring it up in the same interview.
I think the motivations for preventing that kind of reenfranchisement in some cases have to do with one side of the aisle noticing that they politically benefit from that, and that's got some racial layers too.
And while I could spend a whole video just talking about how Pete or, you know, any of the Democratic candidates aside from maybe Bernie Sanders, but let's be honest, probably Bernie Sanders, are all terrible, there's one particular thing that he's been bringing up that really butters my biscuits.
I also believe in free college for low and middle income students, for whom cost could be a barrier. I just don't believe it makes sense to ask working class families to subsidize even the children of billionaires. I think the children of the wealthiest Americans can pay at least a little bit of tuition, and while I want tuition costs to go down, I don't think we can buy down every last penny for them.
This is such a bad take, and it's bad for a lot of reasons. I mean, right off the bat, that's not how government services work, Pete. Libraries, the fire department, garbage collection, all of these things are free for everybody. You wouldn't complain about the fire department going to a rich person's house. The fire department should go to any house that's on fire. We all agree it's a thing that we all need, so we all agree to pay for it, and everybody gets equal access to it. That's how that works. What Pete is suggesting here implies support for means testing. Basically, that means before you hand over a government service, you force people applying for it to prove that they actually need it and they're not just faking it. And maybe that sounds good to you on the surface. Why should we let rich people get free shit when they don't even need it? But if you've ever actually applied for any sort of welfare program, you know why this is bullshit. Means testing is a right-wing talking point for a reason. It's premised on the idea that the undeserving are taking advantage of social welfare programs and they're gonna bankrupt all of us, the parasites. Behind all the bluster about how all of these things should only be for the people who need them the most is just the same old stigma about claiming social welfare benefits. A lot of people might benefit from these programs, but feel that doing so means they haven't made it on their own. That will also, incidentally, make the program a lot less popular. People tend to be less generous with their tax dollars when they feel like the money is going towards the mooches, who should all just pull themselves up by their bootstraps instead of, you know, everyone, including maybe themselves or their kids. Furthermore, means testing requires bureaucracy and enforcement that eats into the resources you're trying to save by not just making it available to everybody. You'd have to pay officials and bean counters to design these screening processes, give them the mandate to evaluate people's finances, and the ability to punish those that they determine have broken the rules, knowingly or otherwise. Who decides who is worthy of these benefits, Pete? Is it a federal thing? If so, that means people in states with higher costs of living are going to get screwed over. Is it going to be state mandated, Pete? Because if so, that means every conservative government in every state could just set the rules to be as arbitrarily strict as they want and make any reform virtually useless, Pete. Now hey, if we're only subsidizing the bare minimum that we've decided people actually need, that means we should probably only be subsidizing the cheapest possible college education for each applicant. Why should the American taxpayer pay for you to go to a fancy Ivy League school when you can get a degree in your hometown for half that price, from a college that might even be real and teach real stuff? And wouldn't you know it, you've now divided the education system down the middle, where poor people now get free access to a shittier education, and the rich and powerful can just buy a more prestigious one. You get to go to community college for your degree, but Johnny Big Bucks, he can go to Harvard. Sorry, did I say Johnny Big Bucks? I meant Pete Buttigieg, because he did. He went to Harvard. Man of the people, standing up to rich kids getting free college. And this is kind of off topic, but that's also why Pete's Medicare for those who want it is bullshit. It's insulting bullshit, because it bifurcates medical care into the free, shitty option and the expensive option, where you can pay a little extra to get better treatment.
Medicare for all who want it. Now, some of the others have their own plans, which they call Medicare for All. Here's how they stack up. Well, under their plan, you will be forced to give up your private health insurance, whether you want it or not.
Bernard Hussein Sanders and his fascist goons are going to break into your home and forbid you from giving money to your private insurance company like you like to do.
On my plan, we trust you to make the choice that's best for your family.
Oh, that's nice of you, Pete, to trust me with my healthcare decisions, because you don't even trust me to know how up and down arrows work. Do you honestly think that hospitals will prioritize their shitty government contracts over the infinite money they can siphon off of rich ding-dongs suntanning their gooches because they think it gives them superpowers? The purpose of means testing is to limit the amount of people who will get access to a social program. And sometimes that means that applicants who are eligible will be mistakenly screened out. Like, say, if you come from a wealthy family, but they disowned you. What if your family makes over a certain amount of money but can't pay for your education because of outstanding medical bills or credit card debt or maybe their own student loans? What happens if you apply, get the first few years of your tuition paid, and then your family gets enough money that you're no longer eligible? Doesn't that create a sort of perverse incentive for people to earn below a certain amount? And that's why this phony populism drives me up the fucking wall. I don't care if the kids of rich parents benefit from things which benefit the poor. It's bizarre to me that anyone would. Because the only reason he even brought this up was to poison the well with regards to the actual populist position of Bernie Sanders convincing Americans to support free college for everybody. Free college for some might be a progressive position compared to no free college. When it's brought up to push back on demands for free college for everybody, it's actually regressing the conversation. So here's a thought, Pete. If you're worried about rich people getting a free ride from social welfare programs designed to benefit the poor, we could always, I don't know, tax the shit out of the handful of wealthy ghoul men with more than half of the money, you absolute dope. He only exists to be a wet blanket. He's designed to keep you from getting too excited about anything, and it's fucking disgusting. The whole campaign is designed to keep you from thinking big, settle for small incremental reforms, and don't dare dream about a world where anything fundamentally changes or anything might happen that gets you excited. I don't care what song you dance to, Pete. You don't have high hopes. You have lowered expectations, and you're expecting everyone else to adopt them with you. And I hope to God that the world leaves you behind. but I don't know if it will. I can't see the future. There's so many things I can't see. All I know about the days to come is that a great quelling will occur, that we are damned, and we have earned our damnation because the eyeballs see our sins. Do not confuse the eyeballs with your God. Your God may forgive you, but can he protect you? Hello and welcome to the Eyeball Zone. Here in the Eyeball Zone, we usually platform small lefty projects, but today I want to talk about something a little different. As you may know, YouTube recently updated its terms of service, adding a bizarre clause that clarifies YouTube's right to delete your channel should it be deemed commercially unviable. And given the things YouTube tends to deem commercially unviable, that has some pretty dark implications for LGBTQ plus content creators, lefties, and like anyone who's not Jimmy Fallon or some weird Eastern European content farm.
And now I would like to show you some out-of-context clips from the YouTube channel Troom Troom.
Squeeze hand cream into a clean glue bottle. Put on the top. Done! My friend offers me to try her glue cream. I don't think I should. Then I give my notebook to my friend. She'll be able to look at the mirror during class, and everyone will think she's reading her notes. Miss Smith takes the tweezers as well. Is she going to turn the teacher's room into a beauty salon? Assemble the weird makeup holder. I offer my friend a bright lipstick in a correction fluid bottle instead of her pale gloss. Get ready, PE teacher. The vamp is on her way.
All of their videos are like that. This video that I got it from has over 111 million views.
YouTube walks all over the people actually doing the work and making the shit on their platforms. They get to make sweeping decisions, and it affects everyone who watches and makes content on YouTube. It's not fair, and we shouldn't accept it. That's why from December 10th to December 13th, there will be a YouTube walkout. We are asking content creators not to release anything on those days unless you're covering the UK election. That's kind of, you can do it then, I guess. And we're asking viewers not to watch any YouTube content during that time. Now, you know me. I've uploaded a brand new Thought Slime video every week for 8 months straight. But next week, there won't be one. There won't be a Scaredy Cats video either. If you'd like your voice to be heard, I encourage you to sign the petition listed in the description below. I know that I have a vested interest in this, but if you care about independent media, this is something you should absolutely support. Once again, no content should be uploaded to YouTube from the 10th to the 13th that isn't about the UK election, because that's kind of an exception, it's kind of a big deal. And don't visit YouTube on those days. And uneyeball. Thank you for watching. Destroy the like button with a righteous fury. Press it as hard as you can. Make it weep. And also subscribe too. Do those things to that button. There's Patreon at patreon.com/thoughtslime. That's a good place for me to get money from you. If you have some to give and you're okay with that, please, no press. It's a cool hang, no press. Hey, do you like these? Do you want to see more content, but not, once again, not from the 10th to the 13th? Check out youtube.com/scaredycatstv. That's where I go to talk about spooky movies. You can also catch me live streaming every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/thoughtslime. That's where I go to do that. Do you have a small lefty project you'd like to see featured in the Eyeball Zone? Please send me exactly one email to Do you have a small lefty project you'd like to see featured in the Eyeball Zone? Please send exactly one email to you. Do you have a small lefty project you'd like to see featured on the Eyeball Zone? Please send exactly one email to thoughtslimeeditor@gmail.com with the word eyeballs somewhere in the... Do you have a small project? Do you have a small lefty project you would like to see featured in the Eyeball Zone? Please send exactly one email to thoughtslimeeditor@gmail.com, and please include information like your pronouns and like a description would be nice. Also,